like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today it's Arts and Culture Day, and we'll talk about veterans. That's right. We never want to forget those who served before us and saved our country during World War II. We have a guest in the studio today who took the trip to Washington, D.C. last fall. His name, I'll tell you in a moment. 436-MeTV, option 11. Do call in. Hey, my friends, do turn down the sound. Back in a moment. It is Arts and Culture Day here on Connect with Me. You're watching us on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6, and I am going to be showing you a book that was written by Earl the Pearl Watson. He calls himself the Pearl. He's a veteran. He's a World War II vet. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I do want to say that we never want to forget our veterans. I think at one point in this country, maybe during the Vietnam War, we not only forgot about them, but we really pretty much disrespected them when they came back from the war. Now, I want to talk about this book just for a moment before I get to the videotape. This book written by Earl the Pearl, it is called Doorman to the Stars. He spent the better part of his life in Hollywood. He knew all the Hollywood stars down there, but more importantly, he served his country during the greatest generation. I want to roll the videotape and show you exactly what I'm talking about, my friends. This man, Earl the Pearl Watson, helped save America back during World War II. He served in Normandy on D-Day, Battle of the Bulge, Battle of the Rhine River. He was hit by 2 bombs. He was in a coma for 4 days. He lived to tell about it, served in the military 1942 to 1945, yet this man has been denied his Purple Heart. Doorman to the Stars, I mentioned the book. He spent the better part of his life talking to guys like Elvis Presley and Bob Hope and many others like Marilyn Monroe. He was on a first-name basis with all the big stars in Hollywood. He's got 14 medals to prove that he served his country well during the war. He has cancer right now in his left lung. He's going for some kind of a procedure. We'll talk to him about that. And by the way, in another 6 months, Earl the Pearl Watson will be 90 years old. He went on the first honor flight last fall to Washington, D.C. to visit the World War II Memorial. Yesterday, by the way, the third honor flight, taking 67 veterans to the nation's capital to view that memorial, also took place. The next 3 days they'll be over there. Earl the Pearl has already been on his flight. There he is there as a young man, but he's still 89 years young. And there's Earl the Pearl with his wife at his home here in the city of Fresno. And here he is live in our studio right now. You can call in at 436-MeTV, option 11. You can talk to Earl the Pearl, who wrote this book, Doorman to the Stars. He has many stories to tell, too many stories to tell during this half hour, but you can call in and ask him any question you'd like. 436-MeTV, option 11. Hey, my friends, you know the drill by now. You've got to turn that sound down if, in fact, you want to call in. We're back with the one and only, the great, he's a national treasure, Earl the Pearl Watson.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
No matter what's going on in my life, this man always puts a smile on my face. Earl the Pearl Watson, welcome to the program again. We got a phone call right off the bat. Let's take it. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question, please. Hello, caller. Hey, caller, are you there? Whoops, gone. Okay, well, maybe they'll call back. 436 MeTV, option 11. Call in, ask Earl Watson, whatever you want. Maybe ask about the book. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
Now, you rewrote the book a couple of times, right?
That's right.
All right. What is this book about? What do you talk about in the book?
Well, a lot of people ask me, why don't you write a book? You met so many celebrities. I'm a hero worshiper. I worship beautiful people. And what happened was that they kept asking me, write a book. So I decided I was going to write 4 books. I was going to write one about all the movie stars I knew, the presidents. I write about all the athletes and all the entertainers. So I had a whole bunch of paperwork and everything around the house where I was collecting all this information to put in the books. And the one book was so hard to write, I only wrote that one, and I put everybody in it. I got a whole chapter in there on Elvis Presley, and I could talk about Elvis Presley for 6 hours. And I have pictures in there of all the great athletes, the greatest athletes, baseball, football, everything. And then I have the movie stars. I got the cowboys in there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to service in about 10 days down in Pacific Palisades for the first black singing cowboy, Herb Jeffries, my cousin.
All right, let's take a call here.
Yeah.
Earl Pearl, good morning. You're on the show. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is David Gallardo. Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I understand your guest is perhaps a World War II veteran.
Yes, he is. He
Right.
fought during the war.
That's right.
Yes, and I want to, I think it's an interesting contrast with the guest that they had before. The guest before, Victor Davis Hanson, wrote a lot about war, but you, sir, you are an expert because you fought in the wars. And so I'd
Right.
like to know your opinion about whether we should be further involved in the Middle East wars in Iraq
And World War
and
II
in Syria.
World War II in Europe? Yeah.
Well,
No.
talking about what's going on now, should we go back into Iraq considering what's going on?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, I just think we lost enough soldiers, foot soldiers. You want to go in there with Air Force and anything else, fine, but not lose any more lives than foot soldiers. That's my own personal opinion. It's too much. We lost too many over the years.
Yeah.
I think we need to have more people with your opinion who know about war rather than Victor Davis Hanson who theorizes about war. You, sir, have seen people get killed. You know the costs. We need to listen to folks like you.
Young man, I was in the biggest battle in the history of the world, the Battle of the Bulge in Germany, surrounded by Germans, 22 below zero. We lost 20,000 soldiers. We had 85,000 casualties in 6 weeks at Christmas time. 22 below zero. Horror story. I got hit by a big bomb, and I was in a coma for 4 days, and I wrapped up like a mummy, and I couldn't walk for about 7 or 8 days. And then after that, I started getting better, and being young, I healed up pretty good, and they didn't want to put me in my regular regiment, so I wound up climbing out the window of the hospital at 2 o'clock in the morning and bum rides up to the front line and rejoin my regiment. And my regiment now, for years now, I've been the sole survivor of the #1 black regiment in World War II, and I'm very proud of that.
But you were denied a Purple Heart. You haven't gotten a Purple Heart yet you were injured. You fought in three of the biggest battles in the history of the world.
Right.
Why not the Purple Heart? What's going on?
In those days, they wouldn't give us our medals or give us promotions or anything because of racial prejudice. And when I was in the hospital, they came around and gave all the white soldiers Purple Hearts. And I asked them, I said, where's my Purple Heart? And, being in there 11 days, I earned the Purple Heart because of all the shrapnel and everything all over my body. And they said, you got to get it from your regiment. My regiment's up in the front line. They don't hardly have a pad to write a note on. And I didn't get it, and I didn't know the value of it. And when I retired, when I got my discharge papers, I typed up discharge paper for all the 1,800 men in the regiment I was in at that time. And on mine, I didn't put down the medals because I only put down 2 or 3 medals. because I didn't know the value of the medals.
So, Earl the Pearl, let me ask you a question. I just want your opinion about this because I've heard people say this. If you were to choose between going to hell and fighting in a war, you'd probably go to hell because war is worse than hell. What is your opinion about that? Because I've heard people say that so many times. I didn't serve. I came close to going to Vietnam. What's your opinion about that?
Well, I would have rather been in the worst prison in the world for 3 years than to be in a war. You're under fire for 3 years, and bullets are coming from everywhere. And it's a miracle that I only hit those 2 bombs. I was hit by the buzz bomb in England. I was in England 17 months building the staging areas in southern England for the invasion of D-Day. And I got hit by a bomb there. About 10 or 15 yards, the bomb landed and gave me a concussion. I was on a cot for about 6 days. And every time I stood up, I fainted. So they wouldn't let me get back to duty.
Out of all the battles that you fought, the 3 big ones, the worst was what?
The Battle of the Bulge. 22 below zero, lost my fingernails, my feet, and freezing, and surrounded by the Germans. We couldn't get supplies. We didn't have the food, didn't have the clothing, didn't have a lot of stuff.
Right.
That was the biggest.
Okay, we're talking with Earl the Pearl Watson here on Connect with Me. It's Arts and Culture Day. He also wrote this book. We'll get into his book again in just a moment here after the break. It's called Doorman to the Stars. He did serve as a doorman to the stars for many years in Hollywood. He's got a lot of stories to tell, too many for this program. It's only a half hour. 436-MeTV, option 11. Do call in. We're back in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
All right, back here on Connect with Me, talking to Earl the Pearl Watson. We got another phone call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me, and your question. Caller. Hello.
Yes. I just want to give my thanks to the soldier.
Okay.
To Earl the Pearl.
Okay. You want to give your thanks to Earl the Pearl for serving his country?
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. You have a question for him?
Yeah, I just hope the best of him, whatever he does. He sounds like a real good guy, and, for him to make it through, wow.
It's amazing.
That's the kind of man we need in this world.
Yeah.
Fight for us,
Well, I appreciate the phone call very much, and I want to get into this book one more time before we run out of time. Doorman to the Stars. So, what's this book? You were the doorman where?
At the Hollywood Knickerbocker. It was the #1 doorman at that #1 hotel at that time. When I got out of the Army, I couldn't find work anywhere. I got a job shining millionaire shoes for a month and never was paid a nickel on the job at the country club. And then I got a job working in the men's room at the Knickerbocker, and I was the best.
What year to what year? What year?
It's 1945.
And then how long did you stay there?
At the men's room, I only stayed there about 4 or 5 months because Ronald Reagan came in there, and John Wayne and Gene Autry and a guy named Victor McLaughlin came in there.
Oh, yeah. By the way, some guy named Elvis came through there too, right?
Later, yeah, but they complained to the manager of the hotel and the owner that you have a war hero working in the men's room and give him a decent job at this hotel or we won't come in there anymore. I didn't know the hotel had the bar and the dining room full of movie stars.
How many years did you work at the Knickerbocker?
17 years.
17 years.
17 years.
How many Hollywood stars altogether did you get to know?
Well, they gave me almost 600 autographed pictures. They're all in my garage. The 600 autographed pictures. They're hanging in the garage. And of athletes, movie stars, celebrities. I spoke with Marilyn Monroe 4 or 5 times a week, and her husband, Joe DiMaggio, told me 9 times I was his best friend.
Give me one. Oh, we have a phone call here. Hang on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What's your question? See, you're a popular guy.
Thank you.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good to see Earl on the TV again. He's a heck of a guy, and I wondered for a long time how come we hadn't seen you on TV, Earl. I didn't know you were sick. I wish you the best. I hope you get well soon, because you got a long way to go. You got to write that part 2. The first book is terrific.
What's your question, sir?
My question is, what about Barbara Stanwyck? I noticed that she got very scant mention in the book.
Right.
Are you going to do a part 2 and talk about some of the ground that you touched on in the first part? That's my question.
Everything about my book is completely honest. Every single word. I never met Barbara Stanwyck. I loved her and her husband, Robert Taylor, but she was before I got to Hollywood. And when I got there, she was out in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and everything. She wasn't in the area of Hollywood, so I didn't get to see her at all, or her husband, Robert Taylor.
I want to talk about your book signing.
Yeah.
When will it be?
We're going to have one here today, I hope.
Okay.
I brought some books. I hope to stick
Saturday,
around here.
You've got a big one Saturday. Where?
Yeah, it's Saturday at the Hop Brawl at the 41 Freeway at Shaw, the Hop Brawl Restaurant.
What time?
And it's going to be in the back room at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I'll be there all afternoon signing my book for people and visiting with them and talking with them and talking about my life.
Saturday at the Hop Brawl, 41 in Shaw, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, 2
You'll be
p.m.
signing these books right here. I have an autographed copy right here, Doorman to the Stars. I want to get back to the war just for a second and talk a little bit about Honor Flight. And you went back there last fall.
Yes.
The experience for you was, can you put it into words?
We had 75 war heroes on there, and you put 75 war heroes together. It's awesome. It makes me a little emotional when you talk about that. All of us are there, and what they did, because I was in 3 battles, they put me up front. In Washington, D.C., when I came out the plane, I was the first one. A woman gave me a big kiss, and reporters are there, and about maybe 2,000 people to greet us.
Yeah.
Come back from Fresno. We came back from Fresno. It's like returning from the war when we came back. And there were hundreds of people there at Fresno Airport, and I was in a wheelchair. My son was pushing me. I looked up. My wife was in a wheelchair. She jumped out the wheelchair and jumped in my lap. And that was a highlight of the returning there. Fresno B did a full page on that.
Yeah.
That's it. That situation.
All right. Take a breather there. Take a breather there, Earl. We got a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, John. That was one of the questions I had, but I do want to state that I bought a copy of the book from Earl and sent it to my son for his birthday. He's 28 years old now, and I have a handwritten thank you from my son that I'm getting to Earl. But honestly, I think Earl has told me he could not have done this book without the help of his beautiful wife, Melba, and I think she deserves some recognition.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, Melba's 92 years old. We've been honeymooning 67 years. Honeymooning. You know, that means no fuss, no fight, no arguments over money or anything.
But she's the boss, though, right?
She's a miracle.
Is she the boss?
She's the boss. Yeah, we just have a beautiful relationship.
That's great.
Kiss every morning, every night, and been honeymooning all this time. And she's from New Orleans. She's a Creole, and she makes great gumbo.
I do want to say one more thing, Earl.
Yeah.
I read this book cover to cover when I was visiting my son over in Santa Cruz, and I understand because I grew up in the 60s, the difference before that and after, and you told the truth. You told the truth in your book about everything. It's something that should be read by many.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very kindly. I appreciate that.
Now, I just got this book last night,
Right.
so I haven't had a chance to read it, but I will read it. I'll be done with it in a couple of days. It's an easy read. It's a softback cover, obviously, Doorman to the Stars. And so the book signing is 2 o'clock, obviously, at the Hop Brawl. I hope a lot of people get out to the Hop Brawl on Saturday, 2 o'clock. You can sign the book. We got to take a break. We'll come right back with Earl Pearl Watson, the #1 doorman to the stars, my friends. 436 MeTV option 11. Our last segment on Connect with Me coming up in just a moment.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Don't you ever hit me again!
Chief, I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Frigidaire Gallery appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an Energy Star qualified French door Frigidaire Gallery refrigerator. Quality appliances for the way you live. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise.
Back here on Connect with Me, we got a phone call coming in? Nope, we did. 436 MeTV option 11. Very little time left here in the program. Only about 6 minutes left. Talking to Earl the Pearl Watson. He wrote this book. He's a World War II, not only a veteran. This guy's a hero. He fought in Normandy, D-Day, Battle of the Bulge, Battle of the Rhine River, of course. Right. You were building a bridge over there. Now, you get quite emotional, of course, when you talk about the war. There's no question about that. And I want to ask you something that's been in the news lately, and I want to get your opinion about it, because you're an expert in war, my friend.
Right.
And that is how this country has treated its veterans through the administration. There are a lot of vets who have been waiting a long time to get looked at, to get medical services. Many have died while they're waiting.
Right.
How do you feel about what's been happening with our Veterans Administration services?
Well, we're lucky. We're a lot better in L.A., the VA down there.
How about the VA here in Fresno?
The VA here in Fresno is beautiful. Just perfect. They go out of your way. They treat you nice.
They don't make you wait?
The only problem we have at the VA is that we don't have enough doctors there at the VA.
Well, okay.
That's a big problem. But the nurses and everything are just so beautiful. Right. They treat me like I'm the #1 veteran over there.
Well, you are.
Right.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, that's nice you having that show about veterans, but I think you should show the whole thing about the World War II veterans, how minorities were discriminated against.
How what? I can't. You got to turn your TV set down, sir.
Yes, it's a good idea you have all these veterans and talking about World War II veterans, but you should do the whole story how a lot of minorities during World War II were discriminated against when they came back to America.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that, and I'm sure Earl's
Can
an
I
expert
answer
in
that question?
You answer it. Go ahead.
Well, after being on the fire for 3 years, when I returned home to New York, they refused to sell me a hot dog, an American hot dog. And a white soldier went up and got me 3 of them, and both of us was afraid to damage the guy that refused me to sell me a hot dog. He looked like a foreigner, too. He wouldn't sell me a hot dog, and then when I got to Venice, California, a lady refused to sell me a hamburger. And I had on my Army jacket, and that hurt me deeply, because we didn't have any hot dogs or hamburgers over there in war.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Americans. It might be some mentally ill person in America that would be prejudiced.
Stuck with you the rest of your life.
It did, yeah.
And it hurts even to this day to think about it, that you served your country. You put your life on the line.
Right.
You were injured by 2 bombs.
Right.
And yet you come back to America and they won't serve you a couple of hot dogs.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. That hurt. That was very damaging. And we were segregated in the service, but I was in the #1 black regiment in the service. They took 5 to 10 soldiers from each regiment to form my regiment. I was with some class people.
It's all right. You got to take as many tissues as you need there. And let me get back to the veterans situation.
Yeah.
You think, of course, here in Fresno, we're fortunate with the VA, but around the country with what's going on with veterans, making them wait for medical services, isn't that an awful thing?
It is. It's unbelievable. It's true. I know a lot of veterans, the older veterans are slow to get in there anyway. They don't want to go in the VA. They're just about giving up. But when they go in there, I think that they're treated great. And I've written letters about how great they are, and I don't see how we can
so
be
great in
any
other
better.
parts of the country
Huh?
because they're waiting so long to
that's the
get
problem.
pre-screened for some kind of a disease.
That's the
Go ahead and
problem.
roll a video, whatever you want. We've got a little time left here. Whatever videos you want to roll, just roll it while we're talking, guys, okay?
Right.
So Earl the Pearl Watson, Elvis, and Sinatra aren't just fantasies. We got a phone call coming up here. You were doorman to the stars, actually the #1 doorman in Los Angeles, the Hollywood. Good morning, caller. You got very little time. What's your question? Quickly. And turn your sound down.
I
Turn your sound
was
down.
the one that called in earlier. The person that spoke about the discrimination, that is covered in the book. I recommend highly buy the book. And I am a white, younger man than he is.
Yeah.
He has always treated me with the utmost respect, and that is one of the reasons I am in love with his whole family.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a picture of you and Elvis right there. I don't know what year that was.
That was taken in Paramount Studio when he did the movie G.I. Blues. And he begged me 5 times to come to the studio. I didn't like to go there because it's like this. You're in the way at the studio. There's 300 people working on there. I had to stop, and they were shooting pictures of Elvis. And Elvis in his arm has an album, his latest album. His manager, Colonel Parker, sent me every record, every picture, every album that Elvis made.
Let me ask you something. Elvis called you what? Did he call you Pearl? Did he call you Earl the Pearl? What did he call you?
He called me Earl and Earl the Pearl, but I was like his father. I was his best friend because his father wasn't communicating too well with him, and I was in between his Colonel. Colonel Parker's manager said I was his best friend, and Elvis told me I was his best friend, and I could talk to the Colonel about Elvis. I'll talk to Elvis about the Colonel. The Colonel would tell Elvis, don't do this, don't do that, and I could talk to Elvis, communicate with him.
We all know Elvis the star. What kind of a person was he?
One of the most beautiful persons I ever met in my life. If he came in here right now, he would show you, be so courteous and so warm and friendly and nice. He was just, when I was with him, a beautiful human being. One big thing about Elvis, I saved his life when a gang tried to kill him one time.
Oh, my goodness.
And I broke the record in Hollywood. I had 97 policemen guarding us, the second appearance in Hollywood.
Hey, look up on that monitor right up there. What is that picture of?
Oh, boy, that's what's left of the World War II veterans here in Fresno, some of them, and their wives, and the Battle of Balls veterans are in there. There's a picture of me there in the middle. That particular picture, about 70% of them have passed, husbands and wives.
70%? What year was
we
that
had
picture
160 Battle of the Balls veterans in this area, and now we have about 7 or 8 left, and they're ill. I had parties for them. They had parties for me in Kerman, and I invited all of them.
We've only got 30 seconds left, and I just want to say thank you for serving your country, our country, to the greatest of your ability, sir. And you're welcome on this program anytime. And I want to promote the book just one more time. It is called Hollywood, Earl the Pearl Watson, Doorman to the Stars. He'll have a book signing this coming Saturday at the Hofbräu in Fresno at Shaw and 41. Get your autographed copy. This man's a living legend and a national treasure, no question about it. Earl the Pearl, you got to come back soon. Come back again.
Yeah,
soon.
The nicest thing you can say to a veteran is thank you. They really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
all right. Have a great day.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Stay put there, Earl. We're not done yet. That's going to do it for us on this show, Connect with Me. You've been watching us on Comcast 187, 43.6. Back tomorrow with another edition. Have a great day.
Do you like me?
Just like me.
Like MeTV Fresno on Facebook. Get the latest news, interact with others, watch videos, become a fan of me.
You ready, Bo? Let's go. Dr. Shields activated, Mr. Sulu. Automatic, sir.
And we're pushing to the limit. Make situation critical.
Base of action. Can't break loose. Peace or utter destruction. It's It's up to you.
Star Trek, Saturdays at 9, 8 Central on MeTV. Brought to you by Ventura TV.